Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? Joey Sherkenbach is back here with another video, and in this video, we are here to talk about the game that wrapped up a couple hours ago between the Ravens and the Patriots, a showdown at Gillette Stadium. Alright, so, positives. Well, I guess I know, I'm someone who likes to start with the negatives, but first off, a win for anyone who, maybe doesn't follow football, maybe didn't get to catch the game. Win. A win is a win. Great win for the Ravens. We needed it big time after choking last week. So it's a very good mental health and confidence booster for sure. Going to Gillette on the road and beat them on their home turf and their home opener. So that was very nice to see. So a win is a win. Great. Obviously, sorry guys, there's just some messages coming in. So, a lot of good stuff here. Of course, the good outweighs the bad because that's what led to a win. Still some things that are concerning and things that we need to clean up. My biggest concern coming out of this game, honestly, and I know, you probably know what I'm going to say, is injuries, man. This is, we played 3 games. All 3 games, we have not made it out of the game healthy so far. Every single game, we've had at least one guy go down. Now, the one hope is maybe this time all the guys that we lost are not significant. I know, so for who we lost today, Justin Houston went out with a groin injury. Michael Pierce went out with an arm injury. Campbell went out briefly with a cramp, I think, but he came back. And then there was someone else who went out too. I forget. Oh, yeah, Patrick McCary. Duh. He went out with an ankle injury. Sounds like it's a sprained ankle for him, but he should only miss a few weeks. That's a little ways of time, but at least it's not season ending. But that's still my biggest concern going forward. Every single week, we're losing more and more guys, and eventually, we're going to end up at last year's point where we're plugging and play, calling up random guys, and we're just going to run out of depth and run out of people. So that's what I'm really concerned about. We got to stop. We keep losing guys every week, and sooner or later, it's going to become the more significant players, and it's going to be an issue. And that is the biggest thing that's holding this team back, man. Health. We just cannot seem to stay healthy. And it's really a concern for me. It's not quite as bad as last year, but it's still not good. I was really hoping this year we'd have a renaissance and we'd be able to keep guys healthy consistently. We haven't been doing it. We've been having injuries left and right, and the practice report this week might not be too encouraging. So that's a concern. But all else, of course, the big positive for today is Lamar Jackson is just a god, man. I know he did throw that bad interception. Bad just all around. He was trying to force it into Bateman. Bateman wasn't even open. It was a bad throw. Bateman wasn't even looking for the ball into coverage. Just bad all around. But besides that, and that was literally the one play that Lamar Jackson the one time where Lamar Jackson was wrong today. Other than that, he was on point. He threw for 200-something passing yards. He threw 4 touchdowns, the 1 interception. He also ran for over 100 yards. He was all world today, man. 37 points, man. The offense is really, really clicking. And I love to see that because that was a big talking point this offseason. How would the offense respond? How many points would we put up per game? And I did expect that, hey, if we start the season, sloppy on offense and we're not putting up a lot of points, Greg Roman could be on his way out. But I don't know. Roman is starting to perhaps solidify himself again. I don't want to jinx anything because what Roman does do is he'll look great one game or even great for one half and then really bad the next one. But in general this season, I think Roman's been off to a really good start. Last week he made a couple mistakes, but regardless, talking about this game specifically, I thought Greg Roman was excellent. I thought the play calls were really, really good. I liked the way he was using him. I liked how he did a lot of pistol runs and spread. We did a much better job spreading the field today, I thought. So, a lot of good stuff for the offense standpoint. 37 points. We only had the 1 turnover was the interception. We didn't have any fumbles. Actually, I lied. We did have a fumble. Rashad Bateman had a fumble that we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So yeah, 2 turnovers I guess is concerning, but in general, I would argue that the 1 turnover shouldn't even have happened, and the dumb interception. But offensively, I thought in general we played very well today. There were a couple drives where I wish we would have done more, but again, we scored 37 points. It's really hard to blame or put blame on the offense for that. 37 points is a lot, and that should be plenty. And this time it was plenty, It's funny because at the end of the third quarter today, we were up 11, and I was like, this is looking way too similar to last week. And last week, we were even in a much better situation. We were up 21 heading into the fourth quarter. This week, we were only up 11. And the Patriots scored very soon into the fourth quarter to make it 31-26, failed 2-point try, so we were up 5, and I was like, oh god, here we go. Our defense is gonna sell. It's time for the offense to make a play. And we did. So that was really, really great to see. All right, so defensively, it's a very, very up and down day. Of course, because we won, I'm not going to be a total stiff about it. But let's start with the bad things. I like to end on a good note. The pass rush has got to be better. It's got to be better. We started to pick it up in the end. Matabuke played pretty well today, I thought, but it's got to be more consistent. The Patriots, they do have a good offensive line, I understand, but we have to get more of a push, especially from up front. We didn't blitz much today, which I actually liked because it lets our four guys, do something. But the problem is they're not. A lot of times when we rush forward today, we just cannot get enough pressure on Jones. And if we do get some pressure, he steps up and we just whiff on the sack. And another guy who needs to just play a lot better is Odafe Owe. He's been really, really quiet so far. And today I also thought that it's one thing for him to be quiet and just not really do anything. But today I thought he just in general did not play very well. There was one play. It was a run by Stevenson, one of their running backs. I think it was in the second quarter maybe. And it was a classic run to the right side, run to Owe's side. Owe had a chance to fight off a block and make the tackle. He couldn't do it. He whiffed on the tackle, and Stevenson got a first down run instead. We should have had him at the line of scrimmage, but Owe could not secure the edge. So he's struggling in run defense and pass rush. He's not been much of a threat so far. I don't really know what's happening, honestly. Some of it, I know the quarterbacks are getting rid of it quickly, but there are plenty of dropbacks where, we just need guys to get there, and they're not getting there, especially Owe. And, he had very high expectations going into the season, myself included. So far, he's not living up to them. But it's early, and I do think that once we get our outside linebackers back, Houston hopefully soon, but also David Ojabo and Tyus Bowser, going to add more rotation, and, Owe should get a rest. I do think he's getting a little bit overworked because of our horrible outside linebacker depth, so that should help, but I still want to see Owe, be on the field a lot and make plays consistently. He's not done that so far this year. So run defense, I actually was pretty happy about. They had a few big runs, but no giant runs, and a lot of their runs too were, we held them for minus gains. Some of them for very little. I don't know if we hit him in the back. We hit him in the backfield a couple times, but the run defense I thought was pretty good today. Maybe not spectacular, but we did not let it take over the game, and that was, of course, the biggest issue the last time we played the Patriots. They ran it all over us. We were banged up, of course, but regardless, they ran it all over us. We did a much better job today, I thought. We made Jones throw it more, but at the same time, Mac Jones kind of had his way through the air. Our secondary, again today, not great. Not as bad as last week, and it's hard because, the defense, I would say from mostly quarters 2 and 3, we really just were not very good. The Patriots were marching down the field, and yeah, it was 31-20 heading into the fourth quarter, and our defense let up another touchdown. That made it 26 points. So yeah, the defense is shaky. They had some ups today, especially in the end, but the defense is definitely concerning. And I know it's battling injuries, but we got to play better defensively, no question. There's miscues, there's missed tackles that are definitely needs to be fixed. I would say another disappointment so far has been the linebacker play. I don't think any of our linebackers are playing very well right now. Bynes, was not having a good game up until he didn't get that big interception on Mac Jones. That was huge because we really kept pumping the pedal to the metal, so that really helped. But he also was not great in coverage in general. He missed a couple tackles. Queen, too, not very good today at all. He missed some tackles, missed some assignments, and then, of course, he dropped that pick with all the momentum. He jumped the route. He did everything right. The ball hit him right in the hands, and he couldn't bring it in. And he had all the momentum going for him. That could have been a pick six. If not, it would have been a pick and a long run back. It also would have totally shifted momentum. And instead, they scored with, I think, Stevenson or Harris, one play, maybe the next player, if not 2 plays later. So there were some blown opportunities in this game for sure. The other blown opportunity that just set me over the edge was a 3rd and 5. I think it was 31-20. I don't totally know for sure, but I think it was 31-20. Again, a 3rd down. We sent Bateman down the seam one-on-one on Jalen Mills. Bateman had a step. Jackson looked for him. It was the right read. It flicked off Bateman's hands. I would say it was maybe a touch, and I mean a touch overthrown, but as the number one wide receiver, generally the rule is if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. And that, I think that was a ball that Bateman absolutely should have caught. Again, it went off his hands. I think it was a pretty good touch, and if he caught that, it would have been huge. We would have been down like inside the 5. Again, I'm not going to be as stiff about it because we still won the game, so it's not like those really came back to bite us. But, man, these little things, they do add up. And last week, we did not get away with the mistakes that we made. This week, we did, to some extent. But, we still, there are some opportunities that we definitely would have liked to have back. And there are just a lot of things that we need to fix up. And our schedule, we have a tough schedule the next 2 weeks. But they're both home games, which help. We can return home for 2 weeks. But we got Buffalo and then Cincinnati, who got their first win today against the Jets. Excuse me. Those are going to be tough games. I'm not going to get into the specifics about them now, but that's something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, defensively, so after the Patriots score that touchdown and make it 31-26, I was really getting frustrated with our defense, man. I was like, oh my God, we can't do anything. Our defense is terrible. But then our defense decided to start showing up, and we forced turnovers, I think, on 3 straight drives after that. We had, and then, of course, shout out to the rookie, man, Kyle Hamilton. I think that was the first turnover, or was it? It was either the first or the second. But what did happen, so it was 31-26, and then the Patriots were driving again. I was like, oh my God, are we really going to give up the lead? But then Marlon Humphrey came to town, and he came up with a huge play on 3rd and goal, picked off Jones. He was looking for Devontae Parker, but Humphrey played it very well. Parker didn't really help Jones out, but it was a bad read by Jones. He wasn't open. Humphrey with great coverage got the pick. That was turnover 1, I think. Then the next drive, our offense couldn't score that drive, unfortunately. But then the next drive, it was a big gain. I think it was Aguilar who got the big catch. He was running down the seam, but then Kyle Hamilton came in and stripped it. But I think a really underrated part of that play. Hamilton, great job hustling to knock the ball out, but also Marcus Peters with the great reaction because, Aguilar or Bourne, whoever it was kind of going like laterally towards the sideline, and the ball was heading out of bounds. Peters, meanwhile, he was covering someone else, had a quick reaction time to get down and recover that ball inbounds, secure it inbounds before letting it go out. That was huge because what was really close to happening was the ball came out, but it would have gone out of bounds. We wouldn't have been able to recover it in time, and that would have just set me over the edge. But no, Marcus Peters able to recover that fumble. That was really, really big. Shout out to Peters for the quick reaction time. That was very heads up. And Kyle Hamilton, hey, best play of his career so far. Big strip. And I actually thought that Kyle Hamilton played well today, too. The safeties were much better today. The bigger issue, I think, in the secondary day was the one-on-one coverage, which was not very good. But the good thing is, it wasn't Humphrey and Peters, our top 2 guys, that were the problem. The problem, to start, was Jalen Armour-Davis. We put him on Devontae Parker to start the game. I don't really know why. And Parker just destroyed him. Within like 3 plays, Parker already had like 70 yards receiving. They went right after him to start. Again, it's tough ask on Davis. He's a rookie, I get it. But I very much question our decision to put Davis on Parker one-on-one. I don't really know why. We then switched up and put Stevens on Parker, who in general held his ground, I think. But then Stevens started getting roughed up in the second half by a couple guys. Aguilar and Parker were starting to give him a hard time. And then we put Humphrey on Parker smartly because Parker was destroying us. And Humphrey, of course, held its ground. Marlon Humphrey very much looking like the 2017 and 2020 Humphrey. After a little bit of a down year last year, the first 2 games, he looked very, very good. And I really, really am happy to see that, man. We missed that old Marlon Humphrey. And then Marcus Peters coming back is just so huge as well. So we did that, and it was nice to put Humphrey on Parker. And Humphrey, I don't even know if Parker had a catch on Humphrey after that. So yeah, the rookie corners, Armour-Davis and Demarion, or Pepe Williams as we call him, not off to great starts. They both got smoked a few times today, but they're young, they're rookies, they get put in tough situations, so I get it. And Brandon Stevens still wasn't bad today, but there were a couple plays. He got a bad pass interference call. It was a good call, just bad execution by Stevens. But he should improve. He's been up and down, and he's very versatile as well, which helps. And the key is we got to keep our guys healthy. And the secondary for now, the secondary made it out today healthy, as far as I know. But we got to do better with keeping everyone else healthy, and just the team in general we got to be better at being healthy. I know it's much easier said than done, but we can't keep losing guys every week. So So Peters with a quick reaction time. So then Peters, as they were recovering the fumble for the second turnover, the last drive after the final touchdown for us Ravens, which pretty much iced the game, Marcus Peters got the official game-sealing interception on Mac Jones, slid down, avoided any extracurricular, and that was all she wrote for. So 3 straight turnovers, a very strong finish by the defense, which was great to see. I love to see us forcing turnovers. I think we forced, 4 turnovers today, so that was really nice to see. But we still got to do a better job. We're still letting up a lot of yardage, a lot of big plays, so we have to get that resolved. And of course, the Bills and Bengals, they have a lot of big plays, so we got to fix that up. But in general, I'm really, really happy with a lot of stuff today, guys. And of course, offensively, I mentioned this at the start, but offense was on today. I know he didn't score on every drive, but Andrews, 2 more touchdowns today. He is just so good. Lamar Jackson, again, played very well today besides the 1 interception. Obviously, a very frustrating day for Rashad Bateman. He didn't get too many catches, but or targets, I should say, but when he did, besides one time, I think he had 1 catch for 34 yards. It was a very nice play. It was a curl route. He won his 1v1, and then he made a move after the catch. So that was great. But he also, again, missed that big play on Jalen Mills that I talked about earlier. And on the first play of a drive, he had it, but then he fumbled it. I do think it should have been reviewed. I think you could argue that was an incompletion. I'm not sure he ever secured it and made a football move. But it was still, he should have caught it in the first place. So, regardless, Bateman, tough day today. Excuse me. Tough day today for Bateman, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. I have full confidence that he will. And, Bateman has been very good, I think, the first 2 weeks as well. Again, had a tough day today, but the Patriots also have a good secondary. So, I understand that the receivers had a hard time getting open. But one more shout out before we end this video. Devin Duvernay, man, is really making his mark. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I always thought Duvernay, he's a great special teams guy, but I never thought he was a very good receiver. He has really been showing up as a receiver so far this year, too. He was great week 1 against the Jets, made a couple plays last week, too, against Miami before going out with a concussion, and then today, he made several nice plays. That touchdown in the back of the end zone, excellent job to get elevated and get the feet down. Great throw by Jackson, great catch. He also had a great punt return. So I really like what I've seen from Duvernay so far, man. I've been very impressed. So it's nice to see that, but we still do need some more production out of our receivers for sure. So we'll see what happens going forward, but we'll get more injury updates as the week goes on. But besides that, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, maybe you should drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Go Ravens, man. Nice to improve to 2-1 and beat the Patriots. And I will see you guys next weekend for a breakdown of the game against Buffalo. Going to be a tough ask, but I know that we can do it. We just got to get everyone rounded up, and we'll see what happens. So have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you next week.